Hey guys, what's up? My camera's acting weird, but I'm gonna return this this silver Audi R8 Spyder Mini from Roleplay. But before I do, I wanted to make a quick review. Now, when my daughter turned 1, we got her that step 2 for her birthday. She just started walking, and I would bring her back to the backyard and push her around in that. Christmas, that was June of that year, and then when she was 1.5, we got her that 6-volt ATV bike, and she loves it. She still uses it. It's not really fast, but because it's on a 6-volt battery with a 6-volt motor, because it's lightweight, and my daughter herself is light. She's only, well, at the time when she had that, she was about 18, 19 pounds. Now she's 25 pounds. She's 3 years old. She just turned 3 this summer. So because she's lightweight, it moves really quickly. But if you put a bigger kid in that, someone that's above 30 pounds, 40 pounds, it's going to move kind of sluggish. So for her 3rd birthday, I figured I'd get her one of these motorized cars. One of the neighbor's kids got one, so I wanted to, you know, it saves me from having to push her around in that thing. So there's 2 of these. I didn't realize there's 2 of these Audi R8 cars. I see that's the box, and this is the mini Spyder. And the problem with this car, it was too small for her. I'm gonna do maybe a screen cap of her sitting in the car. She's still sleeping this early, and this version has a 6-volt 4-amp battery with a 6-volt 15 motor. There's a big version of this. I might have left the flyer inside. That's on the Roleplay website. That comes in white, silver, and black. But the black color is more popular in the US. Like a lot of places sell it, like Walmart, Amazon. So you'll see an Audi R8 in a black color in this shape. It's the full-size version of that. And it's a little bit, it's about maybe 5 inches longer, 4 inches wider, and about a couple inches taller. I'm assuming that's the side door. So we're going to take a closer look of this car and discuss it real quick. So I'm gonna just stand in front of the car so you can kind of see how it looks for scale. It's really lightweight. And let's get in there. Get a closer look, guys. So I realized the reason I wanted to do this review because a lot of reviews online for these cars are really bad. People either have the kids driving around in the car for like 2 seconds. Another thing that people do is modify the motors and the batteries on these cars and essentially just like show it off, say, oh, the car becomes much faster. The speed of this, I think, is 1.25 miles an hour. The bigger version that I'm actually picking up later today is 4 miles an hour, something like that, 2.5 or 4 miles an hour. And that's a 6-volt motor, but it's a 6-volt motor on 7 amps, and the motor is 6 volts, and I think it's 20 W is what the motor is rated at. So ideally it's a bigger car, but it comes with a bigger motor and a bigger battery. Not much bigger. Now there are 12 volts and 24-volt version Roleplay, or they call these ride-on cars, that are a little bit faster. So but I'm just gonna keep it simple. So basically the push thing, the good thing with the push cars here, for dads and moms, is a lot of work, but the kids love it. You got a little horn action there. But what my daughter loved most about this is she could store her toys in there. It had like a little trunk space, and at one point we had a Bluetooth speaker that we had in there. It was playing music, pushing her in the backyard. The seatbelt she could not operate by herself because it's a fancy clip-in seatbelt. So keep that in mind. Like sometimes the kids, they want to buckle themselves in, and you don't want to have to keep remembering to do that. Now the ATV bike was really, really cool. I got this actually. We were at a shopping store, food store, like Key Foods, or I think it was, yeah, it was ShopRite actually. And we're in a checkout line. And I looked up. It was like right after Christmas. They had this thing for $30, down from $75. So I picked it up. It was like 1 box left, and I bought it for $30. And it was like kind of cool. Now this has a 6-volt battery. The only thing is, I don't know if the one I bought was broken. The charging thing broke off. It usually hangs out down there and you charge it from the bottom, but it just pushed, the glue melted on that. I don't know if you could see. So I ended up just pushing it in there. I even keep the charger in there. And what's cool about this, my daughter actually uses this for a trunk, and she puts her toys in there when she comes to the backyard. And this is simple. It just has that one wheel that moves, 6-volt motor, 6-volt battery. And for some reason, I thought the battery in this would have been much more powerful, but it seems to be the same identical battery. Now the thing with these wheels on, that's the motor there. So it's just a one kind of motor on one of the wheels. I've seen people modify this where they buy a motor like that and put it on both the rear wheels, so you got a bit more fun. Now the main wheel is plastic, but you do have like a little rubber strip there in the middle of the wheel to give it bit of traction. You would not get any plastic, any traction from the plastic in something like grass or gravelly pavement, but the rubber strips in the middle, big difference in that. And this also has a little carry thing, but this is kind of heavy for parents to carry for their kids. But that's cool. You could get this anywhere. I don't even know the name brand of this, but or who makes this, but you know, it's cheap. And also you could modify the battery, but there's not much space in there for the battery with the motor there. You could put a bigger battery in, which is what I was planning to do. I'll probably put a bigger battery in that because the wheels are much more bigger. It's much more off-road than something like a car. So moving on to the car, I'm going to go into the downsides of this first. One of the downsides is you have to remove the seat every time you want to charge it. And the charging, it comes with a nice handy small charger, 6-volt charger. The clips are proprietary clips, so you can't modify with your own charger for this battery. And you have to unclip it first from the motor to charge the battery, which is I like. Because also when you travel, if you have this in the back of the car, you don't want something to press the button. On the trunk of your car, you don't want something to fall on the button or the pedal and charge it. Now, if I gotta clip this back in before shooting the video. 1 second, guys. Yeah, so there you go. It's clipped in together. So you have to remove the seat every time you want to charge it. It's weird. A small 6-volt battery. Not the bigger version of this battery is long and narrow. It looks like a little notebook. But this one is like a flat square. The motor is right there. It's a 6-volt motor. You have connections to the lights. It has dash lights. You probably can't see it, but all this is orange. And the seat goes in like this. It's a little complicated the way the seat goes back on, but a couple of times you do it, it makes sense. But you have to remove this seat every time you want to charge it. The seatbelt on this is Velcro, so she could strap herself in herself. The trunk on this version doesn't open, but the bigger version, the trunk opens. The door on this, and my daughter's really obsessed with this, the door opens, which is really cool. The steering wheel works. At first when I connected it, it wasn't, but I realized you have to put batteries inside of this thing, and you get a little horn sound. And this, but the battery on this dies really quick because she keeps pressing that accidentally when she uses it. Now you have a power button on. It lights up red when it's on. I don't know if you can see there. And then you have forward and backwards. Now my daughter is 3, but I don't think she likes this because I have to keep reminding her it's there. Now the bigger version is actually a stick shifter thing that you can move back and forth. The mirrors are really cheap and they fold in and out. And they don't reflect anything. So that's weird. So forward, backwards, and you push the pedal and it goes forward. Now one of the funny things with this, I don't know if you could see it, but the bottom back wheels are really thin compared to relative to the front wheels. So you have the 2 back wheels, rear wheel with the 6-volt motor there. The zip tie came with the thing, and it said to leave the zip tie on, which is weird. But the front wheels, you see there with the steering pinion, it's really thick front wheels and really thin rear wheels, which is where the power comes from. I'm not sure why they did that, but I don't know. This looks weird when she's driving off, and most of her weight when she sits in this is on the rear wheel. So I don't know, it's kind of a negative for me. I wish the back wheels were thick or wider and the front wheels were it's like a reverse stagger. And when you see a sports sedan or a sports car, usually the back wheels are thicker, the front wheels are thinner in width, I mean. So coming to the front, the lights do work, which is kind of cool, but they only work when she presses the gas pedal. So if I could show you guys the lights. So you see the lights work. They're really bright at nights. The car is, from the front, realistic looking. And very durable. She's banged this into some of the stone pillars out here. And it held up pretty well. She's been using this for about a day. The rear lights do not work. But the design and everything, the detail is very realistic. It's very, very good. But like I said, it's just too small for her. It's not, I don't even think it's slow. Because the speed sometimes is too much for her. And she keeps stuttering on the pedal. But I'm going to get the bigger version to this. When she sits in it, it looks really tiny. It looks like she's sitting in a bar stool almost. But she loves it. Now, assembly for this was fairly easy. Actually, let me go into the dash a little bit more. So none of these works. I thought these were buttons. Power and then reverse there. The cockpit is big. She puts her toys in there when she drives. But again, I wish the trunk was usable or something like that. She is obsessed with the door, but I think after the first day, I think she got it open and she just climbed in. And again, it's silly that they would make the door work in this, the smaller version, because most kids that could walk already at a certain height could just climb over that and not even use the door. And for like someone that's maybe 1, the door might be a little too stiff for them to open. I like the door idea, but I wish they'd use this in a bigger model, not the smaller model. The trunk, because younger kids like to carry toys with them and different things, I wish the trunk worked in this one and not the door. And the door works in the bigger one. So assembly for this was just putting the mirrors on, the windshield on, and the steering wheel on. It goes on with like a little bolt there. It's really easy to come on, and you put the batteries. There's 2 AAA batteries in there. Now, the wheels were a bit of a trick to put on, but that's the only other thing you have to put on this. Everything else is assembled. But it was fairly easy once you follow the manual. It's just a couple of washers. You just slide the wheel onto there and then lock it in with like a little paperclip pin. And you put the hubcaps on there, and the hubcaps just snap on there. And the hubcaps actually look really good in this model. That's why I liked it. Now, coming over here. So that's the one I'm getting for her today. I'm returning that one, and I bought that one. That was on sale at Target for $116. It's normally, I think that one is this one is $150 or $169 or something like that. The bigger one is $200, and here's what you get with the big one. Like, I had forgotten this, so you see the big one and the small one. You could kind of see in the picture how it was easy to get fooled, but I realized I bought the wrong one. So the big one, I was giving you the stats, should be, when we get it, I'm going to probably shoot a video and show you guys. On stats, the bigger one has a 6 volt 7 amp, 6 volt 20, 6 volt 4, 6 volt 15. So I think you get most of your power not with the voltage, but with that second number there. And you can see the size difference. That carries up to 77 pounds. The one that's behind me here, only 55 pounds. And tricky, it's listed, the one I bought, as 1 to 4 years, but the bigger one is 3 years and up. So that's kind of like, if you don't think about that, you realize that that one is for older kids. This one is after 4, after my daughter turns 4, and she's small for her age at 25 pounds, and whatever height that is. So she's not the biggest 3-year-old, but if she was a normal size, a big 3-year-old, that would be definitely too small for her. So definitely recommend this for kids, maybe for the second birthday, not really the first birthday, because they're not going to grasp the pedal and reverse and backwards unless you have a really smart 1-year-old. But 1.5 years to 2 years, and then maybe the whole 2 years of their life, this will be good for a kid. But once they turn 3, it's just too small for them, I think. And that's it. I might have some videos, a video clip following this showing my daughter on the thing. So the customer service role play was really, really good. I was on the phone with them yesterday trying to figure out why there's 2 cars and if one car was different and what was different between the 2 cars. And I was on hold for literally 45 minutes, but I was at work, so I just had the phone on the thing. And I was working while I was waiting for the assistant to come on the phone. But she was very, very helpful, and she actually directed me to print this out, and she showed me how basically you can modify the different parts on the car. You can swap out the motors, the batteries, and different things like that. And a lot of the parts in this are interchangeable, and Roleplay has on their website a parts list. So you could buy parts for the car. Like you could replace anything in this car, from the seat to the steering wheel, to the mirrors, to the lights itself. They sell the individual lights that you could take out and replace those lights like a real car. So I like the customer service and the availability stuff for the car. Once you post purchase, you could just basically modify anything on these cars, and that's why I went with Roleplay. But I highly recommend them. The cars are kind of pricey when you get the bigger regular size cars and the 12-volt cars. The 12-volt and 24-volt motors, they get pricey. They go up to like $500, $600 you're looking at for maybe something your kid is going to use for a summer or 2 or 3 summers. So, and then it's going to be impossible for you to get rid of it because you have this big plastic thing sitting in your living room or your garage that you probably can't ship, or you probably, probably sell locally or something. But it's definitely worth it. Like I said, this one was $116. I'm actually going to pick up the big one. A guy was selling it right where I got that in New Jersey for $60. So I'm going to pick the big one up brand new for $60. And again, he said he bought it for his son. His son probably drove it once and never used it again. And like where we live in the Northeast, you're only going to use these in the summertime. And if you even live in the suburbs or something like that, you're really going to have your kid driving this down a suburban street. If you live in a city, maybe a park or something like that. But we're lucky that we have this massive space back here that my daughter could just drive around, and it's really, really cool. So that's my quick review for this. I might follow this video with a clip of my daughter riding around in this if she wakes up. It's still early. So, all right, guys, bye. Yes, it is. Turn over here by the water. I don't know, reverse it now. Hit the button to reverse it. And now hit the pedal. Hit the pedal. Hit the button to reverse it, then hit the pedal. I mean, reverse it, you're gonna get wet. Amelia, you're gonna get wet. Hit the pedal. Hit the pedal again. Now turn the wheel and hit the button to go forward. And come this way. Come in the grass. Away from the water. You almost got wet. So you see that this drives okay on grass, but it just drives a little slower down. Hit the pedal again.
Wait, car.
And she just woke up, so she doesn't know where she is. But I'll show you guys the lights. So hit the pedal so our people can see the lights and come towards Addie. So the light comes on when she hits the pedal.
Like my red bike?
Yeah, it's like your red bike.
Like Spyder red bike?
Mm-hmm. So we got the bigger car in the black color, and you can stay in the grass or turn the wheel towards Daddy and come this way. So it's really nice. It's much bigger. There's a lot of things inside the car for her. You see there? And it's much faster. That 6-volt battery is a lot better. It's also better on grass. And the tires in the back are very wide, just like the front. So she has a nice, nice appearance there. Look where you're going. You're going to the bush. So I'm gonna do another video on this car specifically, and show you guys how the front is. And the lights on this also works. I don't know if you could see there. So yeah, I'll do a video on this specifically in the morning. But you guys see how it looks.